The fading flame, recognizing disinterest in a relationship. Relationships, like delicate ecosystems, are subject to constant change and evolution. What once burned with the intensity of a supernova can gradually dim, flickering and fading until only embers remain. While the initial stages of a relationship are often characterized by intense attraction, mutual admiration, and unwavering attention, the passage of time can introduce a myriad of challenges that can erode these initial bonds. At times, women may experience a shift in their feelings, a gradual or sudden loss of interest in the men who once captivated them. This disinterest can stem from a variety of factors, ranging from the mundane to the deeply personal. Perhaps the initial novelty has worn off, revealing underlying incompatibilities. Perhaps boredom has crept in, replacing excitement with a sense of stagnation. Perhaps attraction has shifted elsewhere, drawn to a new and intriguing prospect. Or perhaps everyday issues and challenges have simply accumulated, creating a sense of distance and disconnection. Recognizing these shifts is crucial for maintaining the health and integrity of any relationship. However, many men fail to pick up on the subtle signals and behaviors that indicate a woman's disinterest, either due to ignorance, infatuation, or a conscious desire to avoid facing the truth. This can lead to prolonged periods of unhappiness, frustration, and ultimately, heartbreak. Understanding these warning signs is not about fostering paranoia or suspicion, but rather about cultivating a deeper awareness of the dynamics within your relationship. It's about being attuned to your partner's needs, recognizing changes in her behavior, and having the courage to address any issues that may arise. It's about protecting your own emotional well-being and making informed decisions about the future of your relationship. Prepare to embark on a journey of self-awareness, as we explore the 10 clear attitudes a woman exhibits when she is no longer as interested in a man, providing you with the knowledge and tools to navigate the complexities of modern relationships. The whispers of disinterest, deciphering the 10 warning signs. Within the intricate dance of a relationship, subtle shifts in behavior can often speak volumes, revealing unspoken truths that lie beneath the surface. These are the whispers of disinterest, the subtle cues that signal a waning attraction and a growing emotional distance. Recognizing these signs is crucial for taking proactive steps to address the underlying issues and potentially salvage the relationship. However, it's important to approach these observations with objectivity and avoid jumping to conclusions based on isolated incidents. Relationships are complex and nuanced, and a single instance of any of these behaviors does not necessarily indicate a loss of interest. It's about observing patterns, recognizing trends, and considering the context of the relationship as a whole. Today, we will dissect the 10 clear attitudes a woman exhibits when she is no longer as interested in a man, providing you with a comprehensive guide to recognizing the warning signs and taking appropriate action. We will explore each attitude in detail, providing practical insights and actionable advice on how to interpret these behaviors and address the underlying issues. Prepare to sharpen your observational skills and gain a deeper understanding of the dynamics within your relationship. 1. The power imbalance, constant control as a sign of disrespect. In a healthy and balanced relationship, both partners should have the ability to give and receive, to support and be supported, to lead and to follow. Mutual respect and understanding are the cornerstones of a strong and lasting connection. However, when one partner consistently seeks to exert control over the other, it can create a power imbalance that erodes trust, intimacy, and ultimately, attraction. If you feel that a woman is constantly giving you orders in an exaggerated manner, always demanding that things be done her way, it's a sign that she may be losing respect for you and attempting to assert dominance within the relationship. This isn't about occasional disagreements or differing opinions, it's about a persistent pattern of behavior that undermines your autonomy and makes you feel like you are being controlled. Constant control can manifest in various ways, from dictating your schedule and social activities to scrutinizing your decisions and criticizing your choices. It can also involve manipulating your emotions, using guilt or shame to get you to comply with her demands. This type of behavior is often indicative of underlying insecurities, a desire for power, or a lack of trust in your judgment. Addressing this issue is crucial for restoring balance and respect within the relationship. It's essential to communicate your feelings openly and honestly, expressing your concerns about the power imbalance and asserting your right to autonomy. If she is unwilling to acknowledge the problem or make an effort to change her behavior, it may be a sign that the relationship is not sustainable. Remember, a healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and equality, not on control and dominance. 2. The blame game, guilt tripping as a form of manipulation. Accountability is an essential ingredient in any healthy relationship. Both partners should be willing to take responsibility for their actions and acknowledge their mistakes. However, when one partner consistently blames the other for every problem or misunderstanding, it creates a toxic dynamic that erodes trust and intimacy. If every time there's a problem or misunderstanding, she implies that you're the only one at fault, it's a sign that she may be trying to manipulate you into feeling guilty. This type of behavior, often referred to as guilt tripping, is a form of emotional manipulation that can be incredibly damaging to a relationship. A person who makes a mistake should be honest and acknowledge it, taking responsibility for their actions and making amends for any harm caused. The goal is for both of you to solve problems together, working as a team to overcome challenges and strengthen your bond. But if she consistently tries to make you feel guilty, it's a clear sign that she is not taking responsibility for her own actions and is attempting to shift the blame onto you. Guilt tripping can manifest in various ways, from subtle jabs and passive-aggressive comments to outright accusations and emotional outbursts. It can also involve withholding affection, withdrawing support, or threatening to end the relationship if you don't comply with her demands. This type of behavior is often indicative of underlying insecurities, a lack of empathy, or a desire to control you through emotional manipulation. If you find yourself constantly feeling guilty or responsible for her happiness, it's time to step back and reconsider your relationship. You deserve to be with someone who takes responsibility for their own actions, who treats you with respect, and who works with you as a partner to solve problems together. 3. The ultimate betrayal, infidelity as a relationship deal-breaker. Loyalty, respect, and honesty are the bedrock of any committed relationship. When one partner breaks these fundamental vows through infidelity, it can inflict deep emotional wounds that are difficult to heal. Just as a high-value man should be loyal, respectful, and honest with his partner, the woman should reciprocate these qualities. If, for any reason, she makes the mistake of being unfaithful, it is a clear violation of trust and a sign that she may no longer be invested in the relationship. While forgiveness is always an option, it's important to recognize that infidelity often stems from deeper issues within the relationship, such as unmet needs, unresolved conflicts, or a lack of emotional connection. A girl who has cheated once is likely to do it again, as the underlying issues that led to the infidelity may not have been addressed. There's usually something fundamentally wrong in that relationship that is difficult to fix, requiring significant effort, commitment, and therapy to overcome. In some cases, the damage may be irreparable, making it necessary to end the relationship and move on. It's important to prioritize your own emotional well-being and avoid staying in a relationship where you feel insecure, distrusted, or disrespected. If you choose to forgive infidelity, it's crucial to establish clear boundaries, address the underlying issues, and commit to rebuilding trust. However, if you are unable to move past the betrayal or if the underlying issues remain unresolved, it may be best to leave gracefully, focusing on your personal growth and seeking out a partner who values loyalty, respect, and honesty. 4. The echo chamber, self-centeredness as a sign of disconnection. Communication is the lifeblood of any healthy relationship, allowing partners to share their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, fostering a sense of intimacy and connection. However, when one partner consistently dominates the conversation, showing little interest in the other's perspective, it can create a sense of isolation and disconnection. Some women do not listen to men or care about what happens to them, creating an echo chamber where only their own thoughts and feelings are validated. There are times when a man wants to express himself, whether to share his daily experiences or just vent and seek out a girl for conversation. However, If she only talks about herself and never asks about your life or dismisses your attempts to share about yourself, it's a clear indication that she isn't interested and you should move on. This type of self-centeredness can manifest in various ways, from interrupting you mid-sentence and changing the subject to ignoring your questions and dismissing your concerns. It can also involve constantly talking about her own accomplishments, seeking validation, and dominating the conversation with her own stories and experiences. This type of behavior is often indicative of underlying insecurities, a lack of empathy, or a desire to be the center of attention. If you find yourself constantly feeling unheard, unseen, or unvalued, it's time to reassess the relationship. You deserve to be with someone who is genuinely interested in your life, who values your thoughts and feelings, and who creates a space for mutual sharing and connection. Remember, communication is a two-way street, requiring both partners to listen attentively, respond thoughtfully, and value each other's perspectives. 5. The erosion of respect, frequent criticism as a sign of disapproval. Admiration and respect are essential for maintaining attraction in a relationship. When a woman likes a man, she tends to respect him, admire him, and show her interest through compliments and attention. She appreciates his strengths, overlooks his flaws, and supports him in his endeavors. However, when a woman begins to lose respect for a man, she may start to focus on his flaws and shortcomings, criticizing him frequently and offering little positive feedback. Conversely, if she highlights your flaws and shortcomings and criticizes you without speaking positively about you, it's a strong sign that she is losing respect for you and is no longer attracted. This type of criticism can be incredibly damaging to a man's self-esteem and can erode the foundation of the relationship. It's one thing to offer constructive criticism with the intention of helping someone improve, it's another thing to constantly tear someone down with negative comments and disparaging remarks. Frequent criticism can manifest in various ways, from nitpicking your appearance and habits to questioning your intelligence and abilities. It can also involve making sarcastic comments, rolling her eyes, or dismissing your opinions with contempt. This type of behavior is often indicative of underlying resentments, a lack of appreciation, or a desire to control you through criticism and belittling. In this case, it's best for the man to distance himself and seek out women who value him for who he is, who appreciate his strengths, and who support him in his endeavors. 6. The ghosts of the past, talking about exes as a sign of unresolved feelings. Moving on from past relationships is essential for building a healthy and fulfilling future with a new partner. While it's normal to occasionally mention an ex in passing, frequently dwelling on past relationships can be a sign of unresolved feelings or a lack of emotional closure. When a girl frequently mentions her ex-boyfriends or past lovers, she is unconsciously indicating that she hasn't moved on from those relationships. This can create insecurity and doubt in the current relationship, making it difficult to build trust and intimacy. If you notice that she is still tied to her past, it's wise to step back and focus on someone who is present and engaged in the current relationship. This doesn't mean you should demand that she erase her past or pretend that her exes never existed, it simply means that she should prioritize the current relationship and avoid dwelling on past relationships in a way that is harmful or disrespectful. Obsessive comparisons, constant complaints, and emotional venting about exes are all red flags that indicate unresolved feelings. A healthy relationship requires both partners to be fully present, emotionally available, and committed to building a future together. If she is still clinging to the ghosts of the past, it may be difficult for her to fully invest in the current relationship, creating a sense of emotional distance and preventing you from building a deep and lasting connection. 7. The vanishing act, lack of time as a sign of prioritization. Time is a precious commodity, and how we choose to spend it reflects our priorities. In a healthy relationship, both partners make an effort to spend quality time together, nurturing their connection and strengthening their bond. However, when one partner consistently makes excuses to avoid spending time together, it can be a sign that she is no longer as invested in the relationship. If every time you suggest going out, she tells you she can't because she's too busy, it shows that she is not as available as she was at the beginning of the relationship. While it's normal for someone to be busy occasionally, if this happens too often, it indicates that she may not want to or care about spending time with you. This doesn't necessarily mean that she is intentionally trying to hurt you, it simply means that she is prioritizing other things in her life, such as her career, her friends, or her hobbies. Consistent busyness can be a subtle way of creating distance, avoiding intimacy, and signaling a lack of interest in the relationship. It's important to communicate your needs openly and honestly, expressing your desire to spend more quality time together. If she is unwilling to make an effort to accommodate your needs, or if she continues to prioritize other things over the relationship, it may be a sign that her feelings have changed and that she is no longer as invested in the connection. Remember, a healthy relationship requires both partners to make time for each other, to prioritize their connection, and to nurture their bond through shared experiences and meaningful interactions. 8. The emotional roller coaster, excessive drama as a sign of instability. While a certain degree of passion and excitement can be healthy in a relationship, excessive drama and emotional volatility can be incredibly draining and destabilizing. Jealousy and drama can be part of relationships, stemming from insecurities, unmet needs, or communication breakdowns. However, if you notice that she gets upset all the time and questions all your decisions excessively, it might be time to distance yourself from her. Some women create drama over everything, constantly seeking attention, provoking arguments, and engaging in emotional manipulation. This type of behavior can be incredibly exhausting and can create a toxic environment that is detrimental to both partners. It's important to distinguish between healthy emotional expression and excessive drama. Healthy emotional expression involves communicating your feelings openly and honestly, seeking support and understanding, and working together to resolve conflicts. Excessive drama, on the other hand, involves exaggerating emotions, creating unnecessary conflict, and manipulating others to get your way. Though not all women are like this, some men exhibit similar negative attitudes as well. If you feel that the girl you like is overly problematic, consider separating yourself from her to avoid long-term toxic relationships. 9. The comparison game, comparing you to others as a sign of dissatisfaction. In a healthy relationship, partners appreciate each other for their unique qualities and avoid making comparisons to others. Constantly comparing your partner to others, whether they are exes, friends, or celebrities, can be incredibly damaging to their self-esteem and can create a sense of inadequacy. A woman who talks about other men and occasionally compares you with them, whether they are exes or friends, is unconsciously indicating that you are not her priority. This type of behavior can be a subtle way of signaling dissatisfaction, expressing unmet needs, or testing your reaction. If she genuinely likes you and is interested in you, she will likely speak well of you with respect, highlighting your strengths and overlooking your flaws. She will appreciate you for who you are, not for who you are not. Constant comparisons are often a sign of underlying insecurities, a lack of appreciation, or a desire to find someone better. It can also be a way of manipulating you into changing your behavior, attempting to mold you into her ideal partner. A healthy relationship requires both partners to accept each other for who they are, flaws and all, and to avoid making comparisons that undermine their self-esteem and erode their connection. If you find yourself constantly being compared to others, it's important to communicate your feelings openly and honestly, expressing your discomfort with the comparisons and asserting your value as an individual. 10. The silent treatment, delayed responses as a sign of disinterest. Communication is a vital component of any relationship, allowing partners to stay connected, share their lives, and resolve conflicts. When one partner consistently avoids communication, it can create a sense of distance, frustration, and neglect. When you text her or call her and she doesn't respond quickly or doesn't respond at all, it could be that she genuinely doesn't have time at that moment. However, if this happens frequently, it clearly indicates disinterest. This doesn't mean that she is obligated to respond to your messages instantly, it simply means that she should make an effort to communicate with you in a timely manner, showing that she values your connection and respects your time. The silent treatment can be a passive-aggressive form of communication, used to punish you, express dissatisfaction, or create distance. It can also be a sign of underlying resentments, a lack of effort, or a desire to avoid conflict. Consistent delays in responding to your messages can be a subtle way of signaling disinterest, indicating that she is not as invested in the relationship as you are. In summary, if you notice any of these attitudes from the woman you're dating, it's advisable to reassess the situation and consider distancing yourself from her to avoid problems, while focusing on your personal growth and development. Recognizing these signs is not about fostering paranoia or suspicion, but rather about cultivating a deeper awareness of the dynamics within your relationship. It's about being attuned to your partner's needs, recognizing changes in her behavior, and having the courage to address any issues that may arise. Ultimately, the decision of whether to stay or leave is a personal one, based on your individual values, needs, and circumstances. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, and what is right for one person may not be right for another. However, it's important to prioritize your own emotional well-being and avoid staying in a relationship where you feel unhappy, unvalued, or disrespected. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who appreciates you for who you are, who supports you in your endeavors, and who makes you feel loved and cherished. If you find yourself constantly struggling to maintain the relationship, it may be time to let go and focus on your personal growth, seeking out a partner who is a better fit for your needs and desires. This exploration has focused on the 10 clear attitudes a woman exhibits when she is no longer as interested in a man. These include constantly seeking control, guilt-tripping, infidelity, self-centeredness, frequent criticism, talking about exes, lack of time, excessive drama, comparing you to others, and delayed responses. The importance of recognizing these signs not to breed paranoia but for fostering a deeper awareness within the relationship was emphasized. The takeaway is that recognizing these signs allows for informed decisions, prioritizing personal well-being and enabling the navigation of relationships with more self-awareness.